This man's name is Michael Adkinson, an adventurer, filmmaker and once a military pilot. He spent a big part of his life in the Australian Defence Force, where he not only flew a plane, but he also learned survival techniques. And he taught the same skills to others, who work at the risk of their lives every day. But there comes a time when just learning or teaching is not enough. Then people want to test their limits for themselves. Michael did exactly that. He decided to build a small boat with his own hands from the thick trunk of a huge tree. Not only that, he would travel 1,500 kilometers alone along the Great Barrier Reef in Australia with that boat. As crazy as it sounds, it is actually much more difficult, because it is not a modern boat. It is a dugout boat, which is made from just a single tree trunk. This method has been used in different cultures of the world for thousands of years. Back then there were no machines. There were no modern tools. Just manual labor and infinite patience. The process of building this boat may seem simple, but it is actually a meticulous one. The wood inside a tree is gradually removed, but the outer part is left intact, because that outer shell becomes the main body of the boat, which will float on the water. And this is where the biggest risk lies, because if you cut a little too much, the wood will become weak. And if you cut less, the boat will become heavy. It will not float properly. That means every blow, every piece of wood, every decision. Life is as important as death. The greatest strength of this dugout boat is its simplicity. There are no separate parts, no joints. It is made from a single log. And that is why it is incredibly strong, durable and long-lasting. Throughout history, this type of boat has been used for transportation, fishing and even war. But one thing has always been different. The design. Because people in each region built boats according to their environment. Somewhere there was a rough sea, somewhere a fast-flowing river, somewhere a calm canal. So the size, weight, and structure of the boat all changed according to that environment. The wood that Michael chose was not an ordinary wood. A Norfolk pine log weighing about 4 tons. This tree is found on Norfolk Island in the South Pacific. And its biggest feature is that it is straight, long and relatively light inside. This wood has a special quality. It floats very well in water. That means it is less likely to sink. And that is why it is ideal for building boats. But just cutting and hollowing out the wood is not enough. It also has to be durable. So ancient craftsmen used various tools, such as axes, chisels, and even fire. Yes, fire. The inside was burned and then rubbed and gradually hollowed out. As complicated as it sounds, it is actually a more perfect technique, because the fire softens the wood. As a result, the inside can be easily removed. But if you make a small mistake, the whole wood is ruined. Yet this method has made the largest and longest-lasting boats in the world, because they are made from a single piece of wood. There are no joints, no weak points, and that is why they are less damaged in the water. It does not break easily and lasts for years, because it is not just hardwood. It also has to be completely waterproof. And this is where the extraordinary intelligence of the original people comes in. They collected various types of resins, gums, pitch from trees. These natural ingredients were sticky and waterproof. They used them to seal the small cracks and joints of the boat. This sealant was applied to the places where the inside was hollowed out. The result was a completely waterproof surface where there was no chance of water entering. This method not only prevented water, but also protected the wood from rotting. As a result, the boat lasted for many years. But Michael's project is not just a story about building a boat. There is a history behind it, a story of a real person. James Morrill, a shipwreck survivor. After his ship sank, he floated on a raft outside the Great Barrier Reef for 42 days. Then he was rescued. Michael wanted to put himself in the same situation. This challenge is what made him start this whole project. For 14 months, he used the same tools that Morrill used. It wasn't just a boat, he was building an experience. His boat was a double outrigger design, which is a mix of traditional design and modern Western techniques. The sail used to propel the boat forward using the power of the wind. But these boats are not just a means of transportation. They are a culture. These boats are associated with wedding ceremonies, initiations, funerals, dedications to ancestors. Many times, special symbols are painted on them. History is engraved that is passed down from generation to generation. This boat is not just a boat, it is a connection between the past and the present. This knowledge, this technology, and these stories are all taught by the elders to the younger ones so that this tradition is not lost, and even today, efforts are being made to keep these ancient techniques alive because these stories are just exciting. They are living documents of history. These are stories of people who have crossed oceans, who have journeyed into the unknown, who have made the impossible possible. And Michael wants to be a part of that story. A journey that starts from a tree trunk, a dream that slowly becomes reality.